Welcome back to Antics at the Armory. We're here for a mass pack opening on MTG Arena. So right now we have, looks like 20 packs to open and then another 10 packs that we can get in the store. So let's see what we got. Let's see, what do we want to get? What do we want to get? Phil, let us purchase. Let's go with let's do 4 hour, 1 almond cat, 1 Exelon. We have a lot of rivals already, so we'll do 1 more hour and 1 more Exelon. Oh, we have 2 more. Alright. There we go. Let's go into our packs. So how I'm going to do this is I will open up the packs, read the cards. If we've already seen the cards, then I'm just going to skip over it. So let's see what we get. Alright, so we've got Knight of the Stampede. Dinosaur spells cost 2 less to cast. Legion Conquistador. It lets you search. When Legion Conquistador enters the battlefield, you may search your library for any number of cards named Legion Conquistador, reveal them, put them into your hand, then shuffle your library. Moment of Craving, Vampire Revenant, flying 3/1. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. You gain 2 life. Forerunner of the Heralds. When Forerunner of the Heralds enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a merfolk card, reveal it, shuffle your library, and put that card on top of it. Whenever another merfolk enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 counter on Forerunner of the Heralds. Then Cacophodon. Enrage, whenever Cacophodon is dealt damage, untap target permanent. And let's see what our rare is. Oh, alright, I love getting the wild card. So we've got a rare wild and an uncommon wild. Alright, let's see what we get next. Uncommon wild, Raging Regisaur. Whenever Raging Regisaur attacks, it deals 1 damage to any target. Evolving Wilds, which is grayed out because we already have 4 of. Overgrown Armasaur. Enrage, whenever Overgrown Armasaur is dealt damage, create a 1/1 green sapperling creature token. Gleaming Barrier. Defender, when Gleaming Barrier dies, create a colorless treasure artifact token with tap, sack this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool, 0/4. Crashing Tide. Crashing Tide has flash as long as you control a merfolk. Return target creature to its owner's hand, draw a card. Nice tempo card. The 3 mana cost kind of hinders it, but decent. Tilanali's Crown. Enchant creature. Tilanali's Crown enters the battlefield. It deals 1 damage to enchanted creature. Enchanted creature gets +3/+0 and has trample. Really nice card to trigger Enrage, and just +3/+0 and trample is a nice buff. Let's see what our rare is. Oh, alright, a mythic wild card. So basically the best card for whatever you need. Alright, next. We already saw Moment of Craving. We have Martyr of Dusk. When Martyr of Dusk dies, create a 1/1 white vampire creature token with lifelink. Buccaneer's Bravado. Choose 1. Target creature gets +1/+1 and gains first strike until end of turn. Target pirate gets +1/+1 and gains double strike until end of turn. Already saw Vampire Revenant. Deadeye Rig Hauler. Raid. When Deadeye Rig Hauler enters the battlefield, if you attacked with a creature this turn, you may return target creature to its owner's hand for a 3/2. Forerunner of the Legion. Whenever Forerunner of the Legion enters the battlefield, you may search your library for a vampire card, reveal it, then shuffle your library and put that card on top of it. Whenever another vampire enters the battlefield under your control, target creature gets +1/+1 until end of turn. Sea Red. Enchant creature. Enchanted creature gets +2/+1 and has first strike. At the beginning of your end step, if you didn't attack with a creature this turn, sacrifice Sea Red. And for our rare, Slaughter the Strong. Each player chooses a number of creatures he or she controls with total power 4 or less, then sacrifices all other creatures he or she controls. 3 mana, not too bad. Alright, next. Sworn Guardian, 1/3 vanilla for 2 mana. Already saw Vampire Revenant, Mausoleum Harpy, flying, ascend. Whenever another creature you control dies, if you have the city's blessing, put a 1/1 counter on Mausoleum Harpy. 5 mana for a 3/3. Snubhorn Sentry, ascend. Snubhorn Sentry gets +3/+0 as long as you have the city's blessing. So late game, 1 mana for a 3/3, not too bad. Knight of the Stampede. Dinosaur spells. Oh, we already went over this one. Dinosaur spells cost 2 less to cast. Kitesail Corsair. Kitesail Corsair has flying as long as it's attacking. Thunderherd Migration. As an additional cost to cast Thunderherd Migration, reveal a dinosaur card from your hand or pay 1. Search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. And Angrath the Flame Chained. Alright, a Planeswalker. +1, each opponent discards a card and loses 2 life. -3, gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap it. It gains haste until end of turn. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step if it has converted mana cost 3 or less. -8, each opponent loses life equal to the number of cards in his or her graveyard. Fairly powerful. Alright, so we have an uncommon Wildcard. Kitesail Corsair, Tillinali's Crown. God, I can never pronounce that properly. Raptor Companion, Gleaming Barrier, Deadeye Brawler, Death Touch Ascend. Whenever Deadeye Brawler deals combat damage to a player, if you have the city's blessing, draw a card. Hornswoggle. Counter target creature spell, you create a colorless treasure artifact token with tap, sack this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. And for our rare, Arch of Araska. Ascend, tap to add a colorless to your mana pool. 5 and tap, draw a card, activate this ability only if you have the city's blessing. Very good in a control deck. Oh, and I clicked it by mistake. Alright, so we already went over Slaughter of the Strong. I already have 4 Stone Quarry. Resplendent Griffin. Flying, ascend. Whenever Resplendent Griffin attacks, if you have the city's blessing, put a 1/1 counter on it. Dark Inquiry. Target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card. Martyr of Dusk. Swaggering Corsair. Raid Swaggering Corsair enters the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it if you attack with a creature this turn. Choose one. Destroy target vampire. Destroy target enchantment. Cleansing Ray. Traveler's Amulet. Tap 1, sack it. Search your library for a basic land card. Reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle your library. And next, we have Impale, destroy target creature. Sun-Crested Pterodon. Flying, Sun-Crested Pterodon has vigilance as long as you control another dinosaur. Brazen Freebooter. When Brazen Freebooter enters the battlefield, create a colorless treasure artifact token with tap, sack, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Naturalize, destroy target artifact or enchantment. Frilled Deathspitter. This is a pain in the butt to deal with. Whenever Frilled Deathspitter is dealt damage, it deals 2 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. Those little pingers that trigger the enrage can really cause a lot of damage from that. As an additional cost to cast Daring Buccaneer, reveal a pirate card from your hand or pay 2. And we have an uncommon Wildcard and a mythic Wildcard. Awesome. Alright. Sanguine Glorifier. When Sanguine Glorifier enters the battlefield, put a 1/1 counter on another target vampire you control. Okay, so I guess these are common common wild cards, and that's the uncommon. Orazca Relic. Ascend, tap, add a colorless to your mana pool. Tap, sack Orazca Relic. You gain 3 life and draw a card. Activate this ability only if you have the city's blessing. Hardy Veteran. As long as it's your turn, Hardy Veteran gets +0/+2, making it a 2/4 for 2 mana, which isn't bad. Grasping Scoundrel. Grasping Scoundrel gets +1/+0 as long as it's attacking. Curious Obsession. Enchant Creature. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1, and whenever this creature deals combat damage to a player, you may draw a card. At the beginning of your end step, if you didn't attack with a creature this turn, sacrifice Curious Obsession. And for our rare, Kumena's Awakening. Ascend. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player draws a card. If you have the city's blessing, instead only you draw a card. Really good in control decks for blue-white or black-blue. Or Esper. So let's move on to Exelon. So we got a Kite Sail Freebooter. Alright, I think I'm not going to read all of them because this is going to take far too long. So I'll just go over the main ones. So Swashbuckling, decent. Siren's Ruse allows you to save your own creature, draw a card if it was a pirate. Freebooter is really good in the control decks. So when he enters the battlefield, target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from it. Exile that card until Kite Sail Freebooter leaves the battlefield. Heartless Pillage. Target opponent discards 2 cards. Raid. If you attacked with a creature this turn, create a colorless treasure artifact token with tap. Sack this artifact. Add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. And for our rare, Settle the Wreckage. I love this. Alright, basically in this format, on this system, any deck that's playing white probably wants to slot this in. It's great protection. It's awesome in the control decks. Exile all attacking creatures target player controls. That player may search his or her library for that many basic land cards. Put those cards onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle his or her library. Alright, next. Thundering Spineback, pretty good for the Dino deck. It's a Dinosaur Lord, gives all other dinosaurs you control +1/+1. Tap 6, create a 3/3 dinosaur creature token with trample. Whiptail, Ixalan's Diviner, Gilded Sentinel, Dead-Eyed Tormentor, Skullduggery, alright, and a rare Wildcard. Awesome. We got Wily Goblin, not too bad for an aggro deck. Kumena's Speaker, that's right out of the Merfolk deck. Pounce for a little bit of control. Windstrider, Ryle, triggers Enrage really well. Gilded Sentinel, and Anointed Deacon. And for a rare, we have Verdant Sun's Avatar. 7 mana. Creature Dinosaur Avatar. When Verdant Sun's Avatar or another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain life equal to that creature's toughness, and he is a 5/5. So immediately 7 mana for a 5/5, gain 5 life. Alright, so looks like an uncommon wild card. Imperial Lancer, Sunrise Seeker, Swashbuckling, Jungle Delver, Skittering Heartstopper, and Prying Blade. Nothing too special out of those. And for our rare, we have Conqueror's Galleon. When Conqueror's Galleon attacks, exile it at the end of combat, then return it to the battlefield transformed under your control. Has a crew cost of 4, and it is a 2/10. When it transforms, you can tap it to add a colorless to your mana pool. Tap 2 and tap it, draw a card, then discard a card. Tap 4, tap it, draw a card. Tap 6, tap it, return target card from your graveyard to your hand. Not too bad, I like it. Next, Windstrider, Skymarch Bloodletter. This is okay in the control decks for this limited card pool that we have. Ritual of Rejuvenation, Merfolk Branchwalker. This goes right into the Merfolk deck and also the Explore deck. Dark Nourishment deals 3 damage to any target. You gain 3 life. The 5 mana cost kind of hurts it though. And Fathom Fleet Firebrand with, I think that's a common wild card. And for our rare, Glacial Fortress, it is a white-blue land, enters the battlefield tapped unless you control a plains or an island, and it taps for plains and island. So we're getting a bunch of good control cards. Fire Shrine Keeper, Navigator's Ruin, Grazing Whiptail, New Horizon. Puts a 1/1 counter on target creature you control, and it enchants a land, and that land taps for 2 mana of any color. Sure Strike, +3/+0 on first strike until end of turn. Sun Crowned Hunters and Savage Stomp. Savage Stomp costs 2 less to cast, making it 1 green. If it targets a dinosaur you control, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Then that creature fights target creature you don't control. And for our rare, Admiral Beckett Brass. Alright, so this is Grixis colors for a human pirate. Other pirates you control get +1/+1, so it's a lord. At the beginning of your end step, gain control of target non-land permanent controlled by a player who has dealt combat damage by 3 or more pirates this turn. Alright, not too bad. I would like to see if Brawl comes to MTG Arena. I would like to have some fun with this as a commander. Actually, I don't even know if they're calling them commanders. Let's go with Almond next. Wayward Servant. Whenever another zombie enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Hieroglyphic Illumination, instant, draw 2 cards or cycle for 1 blue mana. Ta Crop Elite, Fling, Gust Walker, cancel your basic counterspell. Labyrinth Guardian, and for our rare, a Drake Haven. 3 mana, whenever you cycle or discard a card, you may pay 1. If you do, create a 2/2 blue Drake creature token with flying. That might be a fun deck to build at some point in this format. See if we can make the cycling deck happen. Next, Evolving Wilds, Fanbearer, Electrify, Doomed Dissenter, Grim Strider, and Luxa River Shrine. Nothing too special there. Uncommon Wildcard. And for our rare, Cascading Cataracts, Indestructible land. Tap to add a colorless to your mana pool. Tap 5 and tap it. Add 5 mana in any combination of colors to your mana pool. So this is pretty cool because you can tap 5 and basically make a full rainbow of colors. And for cards like Fist of the Suns or the new commander coming out, forgive me, her name escapes me. But basically she's a Fist of Suns on a creature. So this, if Brawl happens or if a big high-end deck comes out, this could be useful. We're going to Almond Cat. Alright, so we've got Start and Finish. Aven Initiate. Aven Initiate. Impeccable Timing. A common wild card. Nimble Blade Kenra. Pursue Glory. Synchronized Strike, and for our rare, a rare wild card. Awesome. I like how they did this because you're never disappointed to see that wild card. We got Naga Vitalist, Ornery Kudu, Impeccable Timing, Wreck Crop Spearmaster, Horror of the Broken Lands, Manglehorn, and a Gravedigger. When Gravedigger enters the battlefield, you may return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. And for our rare, Sweltering Suns. 3 mana, Sweltering Suns deals 3 damage to each creature, or you can cycle it for 3 mana. And next, Desert Ceradon, Wreck Crop Spearmaster, Mighty Leap, nice little pump spell, Cartouche of Zeal, really good in the aggro strategies, enchant creature you control. When Cartouche of Zeal enters the battlefield, target creature can't block this turn. An enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and haste. Luxa River Shrine. And an Exemplar of Strength. 2 mana for a 4/4. When Exemplar of Strength enters the battlefield, put 3 -1/-1 counters on target creature you control. Whenever he attacks, remove a -1/-1 counter from it. If you do, gain 1 life. And Protection of Hekma. For our rare, Sheltered Thicket. This is just a red-blue Sheltered Thicket, enters the battlefield tapped and cycles for 2, so it's one of the cycle lands. Next, another Cartouche of Zeal, Evolving Wilds, Essence Scatter, Soul Stinger. We have 4 hieroglyphic illumination now. Well, actually, this would be the 5th. Shefet Monitor, Cast Out, which is really nice in any white control deck. Enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls until Cast Out leaves the battlefield. You can also cycle it for 1, but the important part is it has flash, so you can use it on your opponent's turn. And for our rare, we get a Mythic Wildcard. I am always ecstatic to see that. And it looks like... we'll do that afterwards. Another last pack of Almond Cat, Supply Caravan, Pathmaker Initiate, Cartouche of Solidarity. When it enters the battlefield, enchant target creature. When Cartouche of Solidarity enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 white warrior creature token with vigilance. Enchanted creature gets +1/+1 and has first strike. Sunscorched Desert pings your opponent for 1. Naga Oracle. Scaled Behemoth, 6 mana for a 6/7 hexproof. I believe an uncommon wild card. And for our rare, Pyramid of the Pantheon. 1 generic mana. 2 generic tap, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Put a brick counter on Pyramid of the Pantheon. Its second ability is tap, add 3 mana of any 1 color to your mana pool. Activate this ability only if there are 3 or more brick counters on Pyramid of the Pantheon. And next we'll go to Hour of Devastation. Alright, so I believe this is a common wild card. Lethal Sting, Desert of the Glorified, Grizzly Survivor, Desert of the True, Sunscourge Champion. The Eternalized feature is really nice on this. Lets you gain life. Nissa's Defeat. And for our rare, Hour of Eternity. 3 blue, X and X. Exile X target creature cards from your graveyard. For each card exiled this way, create a token that's a copy of that card, except it's a 4/4 black zombie. Not bad. The card we're really hoping for out of this is Scarab God. Grizzly Survivor, Aven Reed Stalker, Act of Heroism, nice combat trick, Desert of the Indomitable, Bitter Bow Sharpshooters, Ipnu Rivulet, Dune Diviner, and for our rare, an Adorned Pouncer. 2 mana for cat creature, double strike, and eternalize for 5. When it's eternalized, it becomes a 4/4, so that's a 4/4 with double strike, which can quickly close out games. Alright. Uncommon wild card, Vile Manifestation, Ruin Rat, Unquenchable Thirst, Harrier Naga, Kindled Fury, and Gilded Ceradon. For our rare, we get a rare wild card. Awesome. Next, another Bitter Bow Sharpshooters, Firebrand Archer, Carrion Screecher, Beneath the Sands, Disposal Mummy, Merciless Eternal, and Unconventional Tactics. This is nice because it gives target creature +3/+3 and gains flying until end of turn. So it gives any creature +3/+3. But whenever you play a zombie, whenever a zombie enters the battlefield under your control, you can pay 1 white. If you do, return unconventional tactics from your graveyard to your hand. So this is just a non-stop reoccurring combat trick. Actually, rather pump, because it's a sorcery, so you can't play it at instant speed. And for our rare, we have Hour of Promise. 4 generic, 1 green for a sorcery. Search your library for up to 2 land cards, put them on the battlefield tapped, then shuffle your library. Then, if you control 3 or more deserts, create 2/2/2 black zombie creature tokens. Not bad. Nice ramp card. Alright, next we have a common wild card. Frontline Devastator. Without Weakness. Solitary Camel. Desert of the Glorified. Dagger of the Worthy, and Desert's Hold. And then for our rare, we have Endless Sands. Desert land at rare. Tap, add 1 generic to your. Add 1 colorless to your mana pool. Tap 2 generic, tap, exile target creature you control. Tap 4 generic and tap, sacrifice Endless Sands. Return each creature card exiled with Endless Sands to the battlefield under its owner's control. A good way to tuck away your own creatures, protect your creatures from a wrath effect, or to get more enter the battlefield triggers. Alright, so next we have Defiant Kenra, Desert of the Mindful, Dauntless Aven. This combos really nicely with Exert creatures. Kenra Eternal, Sandblast, Abrade, which is an amazing card. Choose 1. Abrade deals 3 damage to target creature or destroy target artifact. An uncommon wild card. And for our rare, Nika Bolas God Pharaoh. Legendary Planeswalker Bolas in Grixis colors. +2, target opponent exiles cards from the top of his or her library until he or she exiles a non-land card. Until end of turn, you may cast that card without paying its mana cost. +1, each opponent exiles 2 cards from his or her hand. -4, Nika Bolas God Pharaoh deals 7 damage to target opponent, creature an opponent controls, or planeswalker an opponent controls. And -12, exile each non-land permanent your opponent controls. Alright, so that's savage. Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs. Oh, and I double-clicked again. Manalith, Act of Heroism, Lurching Rotbeast, Dauntless Aven, Ominous Sphinx, and Ramanop Ruins. And then Angel of Condemnation for our rare. Flying Vigilance, tap 2 generic, 1 white, tap, exile another target creature, return that card to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Tap 2 generic and 1 white, tap, exert Angel of Condemnation, exile another target creature until Angel of Condemnation leaves the battlefield. Not bad. Alright, we're getting down to the end. So, an uncommon wild card. Liliana's Defeat. Destroy target black creature or black planeswalker. If that permanent was a Liliana planeswalker, her controller loses 3 life. Alright, so this will be really nice when the best of 3 comes out, so you can actually put this in your sideboard and use it. Right now, not that great. Open Fire, Countervailing Winds, Sandblast, Desert of the Fervent, and Scrounger of Souls. Then for our rare, we have Resilient Kenra. 1 generic, 1 green for a Jackal Wizard. When Resilient Kenra enters the battlefield, you may have target creature get +X/+X until end of turn, where X is Resilient Kenra's power, and then it has Eternalize for 6. Alright, and our last pack. Common wild card. Survivor's Encampment, Sandblast, Desert of the True, Defiant Kenra, Fervent Paincaster, and Riddle Form. And then for our rare, we have Pride Sovereign. 2 generic, 1 green for a creature cat. Pride Sovereign gets +1/+1 for each other cat you control. Tap 1 white and tap him and exert him to create 2 1/1 white cat creature tokens with lifelink. Alright, so that'll definitely go in to upgrade our cat deck. Alright, so that's everything from the packs that we had. I believe that was 30 that we opened. And we get to get our vault rewards. So we will start with here. We get, looks like 2 uncommon wild cards and a rare. And then we get a Sifter Worm, 7 mana for a creature worm, trample. When Sifter Worm enters the battlefield, scry 3, then reveal the top card of your library. You gain life equal to that card's converted mana cost, and it is a 7/7. Now for our rare, Emperor's Vanguard. Tap 3 generic, 1 green. Whenever Emperor's Vanguard deals combat damage to a player, it explores, and it is a 4/3. For our mythic, Overflowing Insight. 4 generic, 3 blue. Target player draws 7 cards on a sorcery. Alright, so that was 30 packs. And let's see, we got 3 mythic rares, so about 1 in 10 ratio. 5 rare wild cards, so that was what? 1 in 6 ratio. And then 14 uncommon. I think we had 2 to start with. Or no, we had 2 commons. I think we're all out of uncommons. So almost 1 in 2 ratio. And then 13 commons, so about maybe a little over 1 in 3 ratio. So that's not too bad. We will be back with another video. We're going to have a couple guests come by and play some games. We're going to have them build their own decks and take them out, see what they can do. And they are going to probably be blowing through our wild cards to build those decks. So stay tuned to see some new decks and see what we can build. This is Colin from Antics at the Armory. If you enjoyed the video, like, share, subscribe, leave a comment down below, and have a great day.